not sure if you've noticed this as well, but it seems like we're in an epidemic of aimlessness. Especially my generation, Gen Z, it seems like there's more and more people feeling lost. And it seems like there's a lack of clarity, of identity, of the future, of passion and purpose. You know, if you're sitting here on the other side of this video just thinking, man, like this is me. I don't know what I want to do in my life. I have all these, things that I'm dealing with: depression, anxiety, stress, hopelessness, aimlessness, feeling of insignificance and feeling lost. If you're sitting here feeling all of that and you have this desire to leave that behind, to escape that, and to truly pursue like life, like who you want to be, your identity. You're done just passively living, going with the flow, only doing what people are telling you. If you want to feel like you have control over your life again, this video is for you. I've been thinking about this a ton lately, and I've been exploring this idea of actively thinking. Now, this is interesting, and it's a little bit hard to explain, but I feel like the idea of actively thinking is not talked about as much as it should be, because I think it's one of the most important things that you can do. For me, it has had a profound impact on my life, and it has changed my life forever. It's one of these things that I've implemented in the last few years. I have seen incredible benefits from. And I just want to share those with you and just share what I think about the idea of actively thinking and how much it is going to change your life. But to see the benefits of it, we have to kind of explore all the dangers of when we don't actively think. Now, by actively thinking, I mean like literally just sitting down. It's just you and your thoughts, and you just think. You reflect on your life. You think about all these things that you're dealing with, all these things that you want to do in life, your future, where you're at now, where you want to be, where you were, like all these things. Thinking about ideas and beliefs and your identity. Just sitting down and thinking. Now, to be honest, I don't really see many people do this at all. I don't hear it being talked about at all. And I think there's a real danger to this, because here's what happens when you don't actively think, is that we are in this habit, right, of constantly running from boredom. We are like trained to avoid boredom at all costs. And I think to most people, the idea of just sitting down with nothing to do, it's just you and your thoughts, is probably the epitome of boredom. And so we are trained to avoid this. Every time we don't have anything to do or we just feel bored, we have this habit of picking up our phones, immediately going on social media or going on video games or whatever. We avoid sitting and just being alone with our thoughts. I'd honestly say most people are pretty much never alone with their thoughts, because again, we're trained to avoid that. And when you avoid that, there is no exploration of what you think. There's no further development of ideas. There's no reflection on your own life. Things that, you're dealing with, why you're feeling a certain way about a certain situation. There's no solutions being formed for things that you want to change. There's not even recognition of things you want to change. Because here's what happens. We are always constantly consuming different ideas, information, all this useless crap being inserted into our brain constantly, all the time. And there's no dissection of these because you don't have time to just sit and think about it. Because you can't think about anything when you're having more and more information being crammed in your brain constantly. There's no thought. And this just oversaturates your brain. There's no wonder why so many people have brain fog and they feel like they can't think clearly and develop ideas and articulate themselves the way they want to, because there's just so much information just constantly being crammed in their brain that it's just hard to think. It's hard to focus. And so this problem arises where there's no reflection on your life. There's no exploration of what's in your mind. And it's just constantly more and more and more things. And you can't think about anything. You can't explore anything because it's impossible with everything going into your mind. So there's this danger of just going through life, just going with the flow, just being what you're told, like with no exploration of ideas, no construction or realization of identity or of fundamental beliefs. There's no thought of the future. There's no original ideas that you're developing and living out. Because all you think is things that you are consuming. You're just pulling ideas and beliefs and all these different things from a million different people all the time, and it's all conjumbled in your brain. Like there's no original thought or idea in there. You're just you're just thinking how people tell you to think, and what you're thinking about is what people are telling you to think about. Like, there's no originality in here. That's why you might feel loss of identity, or you're not really sure what you believe or what you want to do. And so that can cause a lot of problems in your life. And these problems arise, and then you don't have time or the brain power or really anything to figure out how to alleviate those problems or those feelings. This might be pretty controversial, but I really think that a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of hopelessness, a lot of these things that people are feeling nowadays can be resolved if they just took time out of their day to just think and reflect and ask hard questions, and be uncomfortable a little bit, exploring for solutions and the deep root cause to why they're feeling this way. I don't think the solution is not medication. The solution is not avoiding it and just pretending it's all okay. The solution is digging deep and finding the root cause, and exploring that, no matter how hard it is. But people are so used to seeking comfort and not doing hard things that they don't do this. The second it's uncomfortable for them, they seek distraction. And so these are the dangers of not actively thinking. Now, the most practical thing I can tell you to do is to write, because there's no distinction between writing and thinking. Jordan Peterson says to write is to think. And so I challenge you to write, explore your life, journal, like write about what you're feeling about different things, why you think you're feeling this way, ask questions in your writing, force yourself to think and do the uncomfortable work of dissecting your life, your problems, or your future, where you want to be. Like, just write and develop ideas. Be like, oh, what do I think about this? Like, this is interesting. Is this a good feeling? Is this a bad feeling? Like, should this idea be prevalent in my life? Should I act upon this? Like, all these different things. Just ask yourself questions. Just write and explore. When you're writing, you're just laying yourself down on these pages, and so you can dissect every part of your life. For the first time in, probably what would feel like forever, you are not consuming, you are creating, you are, releasing some of this information from your brain, and you are actually getting somewhere. You are progressing towards finding out who you are, what you want to do, what you think, and what you believe. Writing has probably been one of the most formative things that I've started doing in the last few years, because I have been able to develop incredible ideas. I've been able to find out and explore exactly who I am, what my identity is. I've been able to find solutions for problems in my life that I want to solve, that I wouldn't have been able to figure out if I didn't sit down and actively think about it and write about it. All right, and what I found, the more I write, the more I think, the more I appreciate writing and thinking, and the more I appreciate being in the moment, in present, and just real things. Because it seems like almost everything nowadays is literally trying to pull us away from reality. And the more you're intentional with spending time in reality and doing meaningful things that, we should be doing, the more you start to appreciate and the more you start to see the value in it. Like, seriously, writing will probably be one of the most impactful things that you could ever do if you start doing it. Start to journal. Like, literally just open up a page or a Word doc, or open, your notebook, and just start writing about stuff. You don't even have to have a plan. Just write whatever comes to your mind. Just dump it all out on the page. And what you'll find is you will start getting mental clarity. You will start exploring and developing ideas of your own, unique ideas. You will start to realize what your unique identity is, instead of just this identity formed out of all this information and all of these things that people are telling you to believe and think and do. You will start to find out who you are and see that you are unique. You start to reflect on your life and see where your interests and your desires lay. You will start constructing a future that you want to live. And you will start getting clarity on all these things you want clarity on. Why? Because you finally just sit down and you're able to think about it. And the more you do this, the more clear your mind is going to be. It feels like an exercise for your brain. Ever since I started writing, I feel like I'm smarter. I feel like I can articulate and convey ideas much better. It feels like, my mind is clear, and I can think about things more deeply and convey what I'm thinking to other people. I mean, writing has helped me significantly with making these videos. I write about a topic, for example, this video, thinking. Before sitting down to record this, I just wrote like whatever I was thinking about thinking. All the benefits, all the things that I feel like are getting in people's way, why people don't think, why it has helped me to think. Like, I just write it all down so that it's clear in my mind, and it's like you're exploring this idea and you just learn more and more about it as you're writing it, and learning more about what you think about it. And it's fresh on my mind, it's clear, like, you know, it feels like I really have cemented this idea in my brain and why I think it's important. So then I sit down and write about this. Like, this video is not scripted. I did not script this video at all. All I did was write about this idea, and then I recorded it. And after a couple years of writing, like, I've gotten to this point where I can just, you know, think and convey ideas. Like, you will find you can articulate things a lot better. It becomes more and more easy to convey ideas and to construct and develop and explore. And again, you will find out who you are. You will start to take aim at things. You will start to become more ambitious, more passionate, and discover who you are and what you want to be. So I wanted to make this video for those people who are feeling aimless, because I was once there too, and I feel like this idea is so important, just actively thinking, but I never hear anyone talk about it. I'm not sure why. You know, maybe because people don't really see how impactful and important it is. So I just challenge you, start writing, dude. Start writing every day, even if it's 1 minute, 5 minutes. You write a few sentences, just write and see what happens. I think it will profoundly change your life. So thanks for watching. Let me know down below what you think and what your experiences with writing and thinking are. And if you have any ideas for future videos, I'd love to hear them. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, and if you want to come on a journey with me of pursuing a life of freedom in all areas. I'll see you in the next one.